Hello everybody, welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all get good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble. Let's see how I don't know how it synchronizes the 4K content. I don't know if it takes more time or not. For export, we also have a PayPal, Patreon. I still need to go through that. And from time to time, I also tweet on X platform. Okay, I will leave it at that. Regarding the content, because throughout this weekend, see if I have some time to keep you up to date with everything that I'm trying to do here. In the background, I'm still trying to tweak around with software because I'm going to start editing videos, something that I didn't do for 5 years. So a lot of changes in my workflow will be made. Also, there is some content that I want to do. I spoke about yesterday, some unboxings and some my comments on the products that I unboxed for myself from the budget and that my private clients gave me, and how was my chain of thought assembling the PC. I will try to do some videos with that. But yeah, the only thing that moment will not change, and I don't see it in a foreseeable future, is my daily news stuff, how it's made. So basically, I just throughout the day I just checked some articles that I think is worth mentioning in the news segments, and some gaming deals as usual. And then I highlighted what I wanted to talk about, and basically I just press record, go throughout the sites, and tell you my opinion on that, and then I just upload with, of course, doing the editing, not editing, the filling out the fields on the videos and everything. Basically, it's how I've been doing for the last few months, and it's like a workflow that I can work with pretty well. And I don't think there is like the need to overwork the videos itself, as long as I kind of know what I want to talk about and everything. But yeah, I will try to keep it up, because a lot of work on my professional side that ramp up now, and I'm trying to get the best workflow for me, and of course then try to get these free slots for me to do the videos that I like to do for the channel, and of course expand also the content and quantity. It's going to be a little bit, I think, in the next 2 weeks or so, after all this has been done, trying to get myself in a good place to get a steady like workflow, and also the and conjunction with my free spare time in doing the videos that I want to do also. But yeah, bear a little patient with this while this process is unfolding, but I will try to keep you on par with everything that it's going through. So let's get started with the new stuff. We got some things from AMD that is going to be unveiled at Gamescom, at least in terms of hardware. We expect the 7800 XT and the 7700 XT to be unveiled finally, officially. We had a lot of kind of information around these two GPUs. I will leave comments for that in another video, but at least some announcements also regarding the FSR 3 supposedly should have come already, and of course they already missed the mark on Hyper RX technology, which is basically like one also kind of package solution of the technologies that they have here, like for example the NTLX stuff and the FSR, I think some hyper resolution or something like that is called. Everything in just one package that they bundle up with one button to activate, and I think automatically it will do everything that needs to be done with those technologies. It's like 3 or 4 technologies all in this kind of bundle. Yeah, they supposedly should already been came out in the first semester of this year. But yeah, hopefully we get some finalized official announcements and some announcement dates, and we will wait for the reviews to see if they really are decent products, at least for the mid-range of this generation. But yeah, at the moment, with all the hardware, I managed to snag one of these XTX, not the reference card, but SFX one. It's one of the better ones. You will see, you will check on the video on the unboxing. See, pretty heavy stuff, at least compared with my latest GPU that I had, 1060, 3 gigabytes, I think. I'm not sure. I don't remember if it was a 3 or a 6 gigabyte one, but it was a 1060, so it seems pretty small compared with this one. But yeah, moving on. We got also some news from the CPU front from AMD. Supposedly the 7500F supposedly should be available for the DIY market only in China, but we are seeing some of these ones seeping in through German market also. Even though supposedly these vendors are also system integrators, which is the only way that supposedly you can find this outside of China. But the official announcement still is, at least from the German office, press office from AMD, that it's still through system integrators outside of China. But we are seeing here on some sites here that they are selling the CPUs by itself without the integration on the system. But yeah, it's good to see at least they are trying to sell at an affordable one, because 200 euros is around about, with this already has taxes here, so applied on the price, on the final price, which gives us around the price of 180 euros without taxes. Usually I think it's around 20ish in the European Union, 20ish percent on the tax on this kind of products. So I think it's kind of on par with that. The CPU itself is pretty good. It's a very this generation of CPUs from AMD, you cannot complain too much. There was some issues with the exploding X3Ds and everything, but that was not part of AMD. Basically, they have their guidelines, and ASUS decided to not put some safeguards there, and that's why a lot of X3Ds were popping out of the sockets and exploding basically. But yeah, in terms of performance, I think this is an excellent one for gaming, and even for some productivity work. It's comparable with the 7600 without the RDNA compute units. On the iGPU stuff, it's deactivated. It's very negligible, the difference between the specs, and even in terms of performance, from what I perceive, it's basically on par with that, which is always good. And you can use PBO to try to squeeze a little bit more performance here. For me, I managed to snag 7700X. I think it's a good deal. I didn't have budget to go for the X3D version. Way out of line, at least in my market here in Middle East, and I managed to make a compromise here with the budget that I had for a 7700X, because I was at first I was aiming for a 7600X, but I think the extra cores here and there might give me an edge on some productivity workflows that I might have to use, and it's pretty awesome in terms of it's a good balance between on productivity and even on gaming, which is basically for my free spare time, doing some gaming series here. So for the channel, I think it's a good balance here. But basically from hardware, this is it. Regarding, we got a lot of stuff that will come out on Gamescom, but Starfield also did like a Discord Q&A, and they are gone gold, of course, officially gone gold. Some preload will begin today for Xbox stuff, and by the end of the month, on August 30th on Steam, which is still 6 days to preload the game, so it's plenty of time, even with poor internet connections. But yeah, on that Q&A from Discord, we got some tidbits of information. Supposedly players will be able to play throughout the storylines of all games factions, so you are not locked into siding with basically just one. And there are even story parts that you can play double agent, so it's good to see that you can play a little bit on that. the fact it's a shame that you not be able to pull off a full-on pacifist playthrough, which is basically somebody is going to die at the end of the day, even with if it is with lack of oxygen in deep space. But yeah, it's always interesting to see this. It's always interesting also to see that people will always try to do a full-on pacifist playthrough. I remember this option coming about in Deus Ex Human Revolution, I think. Supposedly there was a way of doing a full-on pacifist, but because of how the bosses were set up, you always have to kill one of those. And afterwards, some patches they managed to technically get around that. Some bosses, or all the bosses, have to die, will die, but you don't kill them per se. So basically, they just by accident, they just through their own actions, they basically die. Not by suicide, but basically by their errors in how you going about the boss battles here. But yeah, continuing, you're basically are also be able to acquire houses in all major cities in the game. I assume it's like the 3 main hub cities, which are the bigger ones. And of course, supposedly the outpost stuff that you can do also will serve as like a base for you to go through. Some of these can be purchases. I suppose one of them at least, and the others can be like being rewarded for you for completing like something like a main mission stuff, I suppose, or at least a side quest or something like that. There's going to be an also jail system if you commit crimes. I think it's if you caught committing crimes, although you can simply pay out the way. I suppose it's depending on the crime itself. I don't know if they're going to have like a system for that, or you can try to escape prison if you're more inclined to do so. So if you're broke, you just have to escape out of jail. This is going to be a fun mechanic here. And for ship's crew, there are over 20 different characters you can recruit. So basically, it's like your mobile thing. The spaceship. Supposedly, you can fit 20 characters. We will see. I don't know. I don't think you can fit 20 characters there. But we will see how it goes. But some of them will have like side stories to if you want to complete them or go through them. I suppose there's also the romance stuff, but I think it's only like the main course. This is not part of the 20 different are not like the main guys that are basically from the main factions of the main cities in the game. Those ones I think you can have like try to romance them, but these 20 I don't think so. But yeah, the only sad thing is that they don't level up these 20 guys or 20 persons, and they come with a set level and specific skills and stay that way. I don't know, because the game is so big. I don't know how they could turn around in this kind of mechanic here. I don't know how it affects overall gameplay and the systems in the game itself, because if you have like a guy that is like weapons proficient, but if you can upgrade the proficiency on weapons, I don't know how this can turn the balance of the game itself in like space combat. I don't know, a lot of stuff to go through. I'm not a developer, so I don't know how to balance these kind of things, but it's one of those things that I start to think about. And maybe there were some issues even with this like almost year and a half of polishing out everything, but we will see the details on Gamescom regarding more Starfield, because it will come out in like 20 days or so, give or take. We got also some Crimson Desert gameplay should be seen in Gamescom, at least that according to the earnings call from developer Pearl Abyss, which is the same one of Black Desert. Yeah. The only one thing I didn't know, they basically changed this from MMO, and basically now it's basically an open world action adventure game. I didn't know that. The thing that I had in my mind, it was always going to be like kind of a sequel to the Black Desert, which is an MMO one. But it's interesting they switch up. We'll see how it goes, but we will have, if we have anything, supposedly we will have, it's going to be actual gameplay of the game itself, which is always good to see. Yeah, hopefully we'll see something. I'm always interested in any good games, and I think this one might be an interesting one. Also, we continue with the Baldur's Gate 3 setting up standards all over the place, at least from my point of view, should be setting standards for people to aim for. Of course, when you set a standard, doesn't mean that you have to achieve all the time, but it's something that you need to strive through, or else you're just being content with low level and low or poor quality games here. Again, another 2 weeks basically after launch, they've been doing hotfixes here all over the place. This is a very complex game, D&D based rules and all the 17,000 permutations of an ending, and all the mechanics around that always will have some fixes to do. They are aiming for like the big patch to address 1,000 fixes and tweaks. We'll see how it goes. They are been working hard. I think that as a complete experience, from my perception that I have, this is like Game of the Year contender for sure. Never tried any kind of CRPG in the lines of D&D gameplay rules set here. It's one of those that I like to try on and see what is all the fuss is about this kind of games. But I think it's a well worth game from what I've been seeing, especially from Facts Live. They've been doing all over the place guides, wikis, and everything on how to go about it. The game, if you have any doubts or any kind of things that you are curious about, for sure they are covering this. This is like, they already announced this is going to be their game that be focusing on most, at least throughout this year. Even with Starfield and Armored Core, they will cover it and do their thing here on the site, but the main thing is going to be Baldur's Gate 3, and I think it's deservedly so. And regarding Gamescom, as I said, we're going to get more like updates on unannounced games already, like in the last year and a half. At least this is what Geoff Keighley at least told people to set the expectation for that. So don't expect like major gaming announcements, but expect more updates on the biggest games that already been announced and are coming out this year or like next year. And I think it's good because we already had like great launches of games here, from Hogwarts Legacy, from at least from the reviews, Hogwarts Legacy. We got the Resident Evil 4 remake, excellent remake, Dead Space remake. We got the Zelda game. We got this one, the Baldur's Gate 3. What else? Out of the top of my head, I don't remember more. At least out of the top of my head, we already had some good launches, and we are going to have, of course, Armored Core 6. We got Elden Ring. No, Elden Ring from last year, I think. We should have the expansion this year, that supposedly by the end of the year, maybe. But we already have Starfield, Armored Core 6, and I think 2 or more games that are pretty good. I've been covering them. Alan Wake 2 should be launched this year. Alone in the Dark remake. Got a lot of stuff coming out. So I think it's been a good year overall in terms of gaming launches. But yeah, the expectation for this Gamescom is like major updates on games that will come out this year or next year, including Black Myth Wukong, Alan Wake 2, more like the final push for marketing from Starfield and Armored Core 6. Armored Core 6 will come basically after Gamescom is closed. But yeah, a lot of stuff to cover. I will try to keep up with the Gamescom live stream and see what is all this thing is about. Also, we got here some gord review from WCCF Tech. I'm going to go through the end here. There is no video that I saw here. Seems like okayish. The pros, basically, it's the atmosphere, the visual aesthetics, some robust and challenging gameplay, like the visual part there, and even the campaign seems pretty good. The only thing that they like point out is not so good. It's like the kind of the world building that they just threw out you like concepts and everything like you already are in that world, so it can be a little bit confusing from my from I understand from this review. The campaign can get a little bit repetitive. Sorry, village expansion and building can sometimes be a little bit broken. It's not good for a silly build management thing, and the inventory system supposedly is not that good for this kind of games. It's one of those main systems that you work through, but yeah, it's an okayish game. 6.5 out of 10. I will try to check if there is like a video review or something, so I can because I didn't have time to read through the entire review to get like a more accurate idea of the review they put out here. Maybe like a video review, and then I will let you know, and I will for sure, when I found out, I will let you know and post that link on the description. That is what I want to tell. Lastly, we got some gaming reviews. We got Dying Light, the first one, pretty excellent game, very positive overall. You got 80% off on this, which is the definitive edition. 28 things here to play with from content, DLC and all that stuff, and skins, and 7 years of content. That's they've been they supported this game and continue to support, of course. I think the multiplayer stuff is still active there, but yeah, it's good to see this kind of games being supported even after all these years. Also, we got Spirit Farewell Edition. You got a demo here if you want to try out. 75% off. I think this is a pretty excellent indie game. Very storytelling rich thing. You got the management of the boat, so you're basically just trying to transverse the souls to the afterlife, basically, and all the backstory from those characters here. And lastly, we got Dredge. We got a few last hours here. 25% off. I think it's pretty good. It's a shame this one doesn't have a demo, but it's very Lovecraftian. Like some management here on the fishing stuff here. You sell the fish, buy the fish, upgrade the boat, all that stuff, and do some favors and work hot jobs here with some Lovecraftian twists here and there, from my understood. And yeah, basically this is it, guys, for today. I will try to keep you up as best I can with the content coming to the channel, and if possible, everything will be 4K for you to enjoy. I really do appreciate the fact that I now have a PC to do all this stuff. It's been a while since I did something that I did have something to work with, but yeah, I'm very happy now, very grateful, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. So until then, Kunamy Master out.